What inspired you to put this together?
Well, this was an idea I had prior to COVID. And I actually started the exercise with a couple of physician colleagues, but they were both so busy in their careers that we just didn't move along as quickly. And in talking to our publisher, Health Administration Press, a great part of ACHE, they suggested, why don't we put it on the back burner? COVID hit, and all of a sudden, as I talk to a lot of different physician leaders around the country, I do a lot of physician leader recruitment. I also do develop a lot of physician leadership academies. It struck me that this was an issue. This was a hot issue before COVID. We had significant burnout and stress. We have, you know, the figures as well or better than I, the large number of physician suicides every year, the frustration with the EHR, the frustration with pre-certification and all kinds of types of issues. But then COVID hit, and it just seemed to be, if you will, the proverbial straw that hit the camel's back, and the camel just plopped down in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to restart the journey, but I decided I would try to be the central core figure, not that I would produce the book in
Mm-hmm.
its entirety. I wanted the voice of many different kinds of physicians. So I reached out to a number of physician leaders and I said, I'm just asking for one chapter. I created somewhat the initial outline that ultimately became the table of contents. And
Mm-hmm.
it is interesting. Health Administration Press initially was a little freaked out because they said this book will be too long, no one will read it. And
Mm-hmm.
ultimately we turned it into 2 volumes.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, after a year of sales, it's proving to be a very good idea. The
Mm-hmm.
2 volumes, and
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned in the intro, flying off the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, it's doing well. So I just felt COVID was that final aggressive push that said, do it and do it now. You know, the famous commercial, just do it. And it was wonderful to assemble what a CEO told me last fall. Carson, it sounds like an orchestra. You pulled an orchestra together, and sometimes I hear a nice little vignette from the violins, and then I hear something from the cellos, and then the brass, and then you put it all together. And that was the biggest compliment I could have ever had.